Series SAP Open in San Jose. This is how Karlovic got there. Only broken once on serve. Terrific wins en route. Just the one set conceded. He up against the defending champion Andy Murray. Karlovic to begin. Be a special day for the Murray family, with brother Jamie, older brother Jamie, in the final with Eric Buterak of America against Chris Haggard of South Africa and Rainer Schuttler of Germany. They follow this match. We're only here for the singles, but a wonderful day for Dunblane as well. Remembered fondly at last, Dunblane. Can be a little shaky in his opening service games, Karlovic. He had a break point against him against Benjamin Becker in the first set in the semi-final. A great time to pounce.
He does get a little nervous as well. This is a big occasion for him, no question about that. Just his second ATP career final, so the nerves will certainly be there early on.
Talk about a wingspan.
Well, that was good tennis, because Murray is going to work Karlovic exceptionally hard with his terrific return of serve. And I think when you talk about matchups, we've talked about how good Karlovic's serve is, but we haven't yet discussed just how well Murray returns serve. And I think he's going to make Karlovic play an awful lot of balls like he did in that last rally, and it's going to be tough for Karlovic.
Super. Classic serve volley play. He knows he's not going to beat Murray from the back. You could see a lot more serve and volley than normal.
Yeah, I think he's got to just make sure that he mixes it up just enough. If you telegraph what you're going to do to Murray, he's exceptionally good. He'll put the ball down to your feet if you're trying to serve and volley. If you stay back, he'll get it back to a length and then just start the rally. So you've got to always try and vary the tactics as much as you possibly can.
Good, solid opening game from Karlovic. To 15. And Murray's first look at this giant serve. Jason and I were chatting before we came to air, thinking about the sort of height it comes down from. It's got to be around 10 feet or so, but Murray is a tough man to ace. Not an ace in that opening game for Karlovic, and took a little bit of pace off to ensure the first serve going in more.
Yeah, and he needs to do that because he knows he's going to be punished. The second does drop a little short, and Murray likes to take the ball on, particularly off the backhand wing. And Murray, I think, will be pleased with his returning in that opening game. He made Karlovic play a lot of balls.
There's Brad Gilbert, the coach, who's done just a fantastic job. What a team they are making. Started working together in Washington in July last year. For not even a year, their relationship, but one that is flourishing. I wonder if Brad Gilbert stood on a table on the service line to serve at Murray today. It's about the only way you can sort of replicate. Apologies for the picture breakup. An international sound is sort of going in and out in our headsets. I hope it's not spoiling your enjoyment at home. Looks so relaxed. I mean, this is his fifth final already. It only seems like 5 minutes ago he was cramping, vomiting. He was full of what he wasn't doing. He's not fit enough, he's not this, he's not that. And now suddenly he's playing like a top 5 player and looking like one. A love game to open his account.
It's interesting that you mentioned that he looks like a top 5 player. I think really amongst his peers in the locker room, they see him as a top 5 player. Absolutely no question about that. And that's important, because when you've got the respect of all the other players in the locker room, then it's slightly easier when you walk out there on court to take them on.
Reading the serve immediately well, isn't it?
Well, exceptionally well, considering, as you were mentioning in the last game, that it's hard to replicate the type of serve that Karlovic has. It's not just the pace. A lot of good players have hard serves, like Roddick, but it's the fact that it comes from such a great height. He can create these angles with it, and it bounces up so high off the court. So it does take a while to get used to it.
142 miles per hour on the line, and Murray wasn't that far away from it.
Just about 2.5 racket lengths.
That's pretty close by this week's standard. Yes. He's clicking into rhythm, is Mr. Karlovic. Tournament record, that must be a world record. It's 22 games worth without having to hit another shot, let alone the ones that don't come back but returners get their racket on it. It's obscene. Well, there's the battle. And the gauntlet for Andy Murray exposed in that game. Karlovic at his best on serve. Into a 2-1 lead in the very early stages here. This is going to be fun. And Murray enjoyed the fact that he out-aced Andy Roddick last night.
It's an area of his game that he's really worked very hard on, particularly in the off-season, done a lot of off-court training, trying to build up the strength in his upper body and the ability to be able to serve hard throughout the duration of matches. He's always been able to serve hard. His fastest serves almost clocked about 140 miles an hour, which is very, very good by anybody's standards. But he hasn't really been able to maintain that throughout the course of matches. When he's lost his fitness in those third sets, when he started cramping and things like that, it's impossible to be able to maintain such a high level of play. But you need to do that if you're going to beat the best players in the world. So he knows that. His coach Brad Gilbert knows that. They've worked hard on it, and I think already this season we're seeing a huge improvement in that area of his game. He's varying his serve a little more. He's getting more first serves in, and when he does, they're more effective, and that makes life a lot easier, because then you have to work slightly less hard from the back of the court in order to hold your serve, so it stands you in good stead throughout the course of any matches.
There's the strength coach. I thought you lost your strength when you had no hair. You must be just giving it. Murray 1-2 first set. You can ill afford those. But they come because of the pressure you're immediately put on of having to hold serve. And interesting that he missed his first shot there after that stunning game from Karlovic, the last one. It does put the frighteners on so many of Karlovic's opponents on quick courts.
And this court is a lot quicker than the players will be used to playing on week in, week out.
Grab out, as we've seen a couple of times. He's been working with at stages in his life the Golden State Warriors in the NBA. So he's mixing in terrific company, Andy Murray, all as a result of Brad Gilbert, really, and the connections he has, the mates he has, and his neighbour is Michael Johnson, and as I'm sure you all know now at home that he's been running with Michael Johnson. And then just having lunch with those sorts of people, what you pick up, I mean, it's invaluable in the education of being a winner. There's nothing better than being around winners.
No question about it, and that plays a big part in the improvement that we've seen Andy Murray undergo in the last 6 months or so since he started working with Brad Gilbert. I think the fact that Agassi was a big idol of Murray's when he was growing up, to have the same guy in your corner that Agassi had in his corner when he took him to #1 in the world is huge.
Yeah. Again, apologies for the interruption on the pictures. Out of our control. It's like lobbing the Empire State. Not happy about the lack of court. It was very close.
But that's what he's got to keep doing, just plugging away, making Karlovic play as many first volleys as possible. If he can get the ball lower than the height of the net, and he'll certainly pick up a few cheap points along the way if he can continue to do that.
Great reaction after that missed volley from Karlovic. Next time, just a little bit more cut on the volley. In other words, just thinking about how to improve it. I don't think I've ever seen him be negative.
No, well, he has to be positive, and especially when he's serving. There's no question about it. That's his main strength. Sometimes he gets a little frustrated at his lack of ability from the back of the court. Backhand in particular can let him down on occasions. Has very little feel on that shot when he tries to come over the ball when he's playing poorly. But when you're serving well, you tend to play well, and that's what's happened all week for him this week.
Two missed volleys in a row. Again, the pressure of knowing what's coming in terms of quality from the other end. It is a mental game, this. It always has been, it always will be. And Agassi, just being down the other end, made people serve poorly just by him standing there. The reputation alone. Murray has got that, certainly, in a lot of departments with his game right now. But that is unplayable.
Yeah, you have to hold your hands up, say too good. 141 on the line, creating an almost impossible angle for Murray
out wide
to get back. No chance, and you've just got to walk to the other side of the court, look up at the scoreboard and say, I'm still in with a half chance here, 30 all.
Yeah. Wonderful comment from Mardy Fish. Says, I've never played a player where you get 15-30 on their serve and you want to throw a party. Yeah. Brilliantly kept it low, Murray. And it is a break point.
And I think that's one of the main differences that Karlovic faces today in coming up against Murray compared to the other players that he's played throughout the course of the week. Is Murray will make him play so many more first volleys.
Yeah. Was a little casual, and when you think how few chances you'll get to break, that could really hurt him.
Well, he did exceptionally well to get the ball back in play, and Karlovic should have done more with the backhand initially. Didn't certainly do enough with the forehand volley, and you're absolutely right. Murray there didn't really get his feet set, ran through the ball, thought he'd already made the shot. Real let off for Karlovic.
Real frustration for Murray, using the noise of the crowd to vent his feelings. Brad Gilbert, the former winner of this event, champion in 1989. It was held in San Francisco. Beat one Anders Järryd in the final from Sweden. A little trip down memory lane.
Bit before my time, that, Chris.
You're a long way before your time. Little whippersnapper. Karlovic holds.
Karlovic leads.
And 3-2 in the opening set. But can't underestimate how dangerous that lack of the conversion when given a